Hello everybody. Bear with me for a moment. I am going to try to tell you a difficult story. I usually don't tell difficult stories on YouTube. I like to talk about the happy side of stuff, but I'm in a spot and then it's on my mind, so I'll share it with you anyway. First of all, this is interesting. If you look, I'll just one more thing before I start. If you ever look through Hiroshige Ando prints, you know, the old 53 stages of the Tokaido, there's one that shows the bank of the Abe River, and you can see that mountain, the exact same profile in Hiroshige's print. He sat right over there on the wall, well, the riverbank right there. Hiroshige sat in that exact spot to paint the river of the people going across the river. I'm standing where the people in the print would have been crossing the river. I'm in a historical spot for many reasons. Here comes the bloody wind. Let me try to hunker down out of the wind here. Okay, why am I sitting in a river basin to tell you a story? I was riding my bicycle this morning, and I stopped here just to take a look at the water level, and I thought, and I was reminded of a story that happened, of an event that happened here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to the early 17th century. A time when Japan was consolidated under the rule of a single man, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who grew up here in Shizuoka. And at that time, that was not a good time for Christians in Japan, as the Tokugawa shogunate was afraid of that the spread of Christianity would threaten the base of his power, which is based on many Confucian principles, and for a variety of reasons, and also from influence from other foreign nations that weren't too happy about something. But anyway, Christians, it was a bad time to be a Christian. I got to get out of this wind. Hope this isn't blowing too bad. It was a bad time to be a Christian in Japan, and I'm on an execution ground. This river basin here, I don't know exactly where. If you're a resident of Shizuoka, you'll recognize this bridge. This bridge was built by the British at the start of the at the start of the 20th century. British came and built this. You'll recognize where I am. This Shizuoka downtown is right over there. This is an execution ground. This was a mass execution ground. Here's what happened. The Tokugawa shogun issued an edict that Christianity basically prohibited displays or allegiance to Christianity. And they here in Shizuoka, they rounded up all of those who would not forsake their Christian vows or their Christian belief, and swear allegiance, basically, or swear non-allegiance to Christianity. And I think what they did was they had a picture of Mary, and they put it on the ground. Now this is the way the story was. I read the story. My facts, I can't even remember the source. Please forgive me if my facts are wrong. Let me have it in comments. But what I read was that the way that they would show their allegiance was they would take a picture of Mary and put it on the ground, and you stomped on it, basically. And that was one way to basically express your non-allegiance to Christianity. Anyway, those that would not do so, that would not prove their disassociation from Christianity, were rounded up here in Shizuoka. And, I mean, they had a chance out. I mean, they did, but these were basically martyrs. They were brought to this spot. Now, I don't know if it was on this exact spot, somewhere right around here. They were brought right around here, and there's a plaque. Yumiko found it for me. There's a plaque over there by the bridge over there, and that actually says, that marks this as the spot of the Christian martyrdom. And the way that they were executed was a very curious manner. I'll try to hide my camera behind this my backpack. Their legs, their Achilles tendons here were severed, cut across here, like this on both sides, so they couldn't walk. And basically they just left out here on the river bottom to die of dehydration and exposure. So there were, and anyone that would come out to help them, the village, the city of Shizuoka is right over there, anyone that would come out to help them would have suffered the same fate. So imagine that, they did that, and probably those people lasted for several days out here. Died, and basically their corpses were washed away to the sea over time. That's the event that happened, and it happened apparently right here, somewhere right around here on this river bottom. The marker is right over there. It's a sad event. There are more than one execution ground. I know of another execution ground nearer to my house. That was the formal execution ground for Shizuoka. Badass place. They did some bad stuff over there in terms of, well, I mean, everywhere, all over the world. Let's go look at my own country. Look at what we did. And back in the day, putting people to death was no easy affair, a light affair. Anyway, so This is a significant place for me in that capacity. So I'll tell add one more little bit to that. The Japanese tradition of butsudan, the little the home altars that they have, apparently that also began about the same time. And what happened was that you could see that those the viewers at home at that time in Japan could see that not displaying well your allegiance to Buddhism, or not to Christianity at least, could have dire consequences to you. So the Japanese began to erect little home Buddhist altars as further proof that they were Buddhist. And thus was the beginning of the Butsudan tradition. The Butsudan in the home, the little home altar, began out of fear of repercussions from the persecution of Christians during the early Tokugawa period, the early Edo period. That also gives rise to what are called the hidden Christians. I actually know a hidden man whose family were the hidden Christians from that period. You can find all kinds of little artifacts. When I was an antique dealer, that I had never got any of these. They're virtually priceless, but I'd seen them at antique auctions and markets and stuff. These little objects like netsuke and other items that if you did a little opening, you would find a little cross inside. And that's the way that people could hold on to their Christian faith without displaying it publicly, because they would be persecuted or worse executed. So there you go. I'm on the execution grounds here in Shizuoka. Now it's time for me to ride on home and make breakfast for the family. Have a great day, a great Golden Week, everybody. Bye-bye.